Hi and welcome to the first recorded game for the IG 2018 in Malahide, Dublin, Ireland. The game is between the defending champion from last year, Anthony O'Reilly, and a Cato player from up north, from Morrow. Yeah, a Belfast player. So looking at the list, we have Iris 2 in Legion of Steel and Old Witch in Armour Corps against...
Anthony played Scar 1, as you can see, and his second list then was Denegra.
Now, on paper, Iris 2 in Legion of Steel into anything crits is not fantastic.
The absence of magic weapons is obviously a huge issue. Also, the scenario here, which is spread the net, doesn't favour the Cato player either. And then the fact there's two rate engines, there's likely going to be multiple machine rates. While Iron Fangs do outpunch the Banes on a 1-for-1 basis, given our rules will give them Tactician, Tough and no knockdown. You would imagine that the melee combat will go the Iron Fangs way, but there's no way of dealing with the Incorporeal Crix army, so this should be fairly one-sided.
Yeah. I mean, I never want to see two great engines anywhere near my Cater, but at least from this point of view, the only jack on the Cater player side is a Conquest. So it's not that crippling fear that I normally have playing in the Crix, which is I push my jacks into place and then a rate engine happily hops in and takes them for a stroll.
I still think a rate engine is going to happily hop in and take a Conquest for a stroll. There's also a little matter of 4 Stalkers as Scar's battle group. So again, without the gun threat here, outside the Conquest, who can't really target the Stalkers, and then Irusk himself has just a single spell.
Airburst is still quite nice for picking out solos, but it's not really going to do damage to any of the key pieces.
Still part?
I believe so, yeah.
So like Arm 13 isn't really going to care about boosted base, even with a low grade like the Stalker is.
I'd be more interested in the covering fire coming out of the Conquest and whether or not that can keep some of the infantry back.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. It's interesting the way that Mark played this game. I had a chat with him prior to him playing this and see what way he deployed, and it was interesting that he uses the advanced move on the second unit behind the front unit to get them 5 inches further up rather than the first unit to get them 6 inches further forward.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how it worked out, and it does seem to move the whole force that bit further forward.
Keeps everything compact and you're not letting one of your units run too far ahead of the rest of the army and maximise what Iris is bringing to the table, which is keeping that bubble.
Yep, absolutely. You can see there, Mark won the turn, so he opted to go first there. Very straightforward. One large block, and he brought forward Conquest with all his little mechanic buddies to keep him a little bit safer. And you can see Anthony there measuring out the max distance for the Iron Fangs. Again, one of the issues with Legion of Steel is it's very predictable. It is a mass infantry wall. Stay outside that 13-inch strat range, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Again, the deployment here, putting the Conquest down in the bottom zone, it's somewhat protected with the house, I suppose, a little bit there, but I really don't like seeing the couple of jacks and the rate engine coming up that way. I mean, is it a case that you try and put the Conquest in somewhere that you're going to bait the rate engine to come in?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The only thing that's going to, once it's corporeal, anything can kill it. But again, because it's Scar, the rate engine is going to have +5 strength, +5 armor.
Yeah.
So once the Conquest is dead on feed turn, there's nothing that's going to kill it. So it does get incorporeal, feeded on, and incorporeal again. So it is nigh unkillable until turn 4, until it goes and starts killing troops again. The big issue I can see here with the Conquest is you have the rate engine, you have 2 Stalkers, and the Conquest has to engage.
Yeah.
So it is, you see the ritual sacrifice there from Anthony there. There's a few little bodies there that he's brought along just to be Scar's focus in the following turns.
Now, I suppose the question here is, looking at the way the Gator player is set up, do you keep the mechanics behind the conquest and hope it's not one-rounded, or do you try and throw them out in front as a screen to just...
The 2-inch melee, the huge base, and the stalkers with bounding leap, I don't think it matters. I think you leave them behind and hope that the conquest isn't one-rounded, but it's hard to see how we wouldn't with the 2 stalkers backing the right engine.
Shrouds from the right engine.
Yeah, when you go down to ARM 18, the right engine then is PNS 15, so we got PNS 20, so it's dice plus 2, dice plus 3 maybe. And then
3 initials after right engine itself if it goes in.
Absolutely. And then you'll also have, it's not going to miss with Dark Guidance, and you'll also have the 2 stalkers backing up. So it's a difficult question for Mark to answer. But ultimately, the conquest has to get some work done.
Okay, here goes the front rank of the Iron Fangs in.
Yeah. Now, I do think that this might have caught Anthony out a little bit because he has just said, look, I have to engage. So he's moved forward, he's shield walled, and he's mini-feeded in rather than try and protect them. So it is a case of just chuck everything at him and see what I can do.
Now, again, a lot of this depends on how aggressive he's going to be with the follow-up on the rest of the guys. Because, immediately those Iron Fangs are down to 16 from Dark Shroud from the Red Engine.
But again, this isn't a game where armor is going to matter on the troops because the pikemen are PNS 13 and then the Banes are being weapon masters. It's going to be a game of tough. And the Kadar tough is better because there's no knockdown.
Now, would you have run the Black Dragons?
No, because I think Arusk wants to be within 10 inches of front rank, so I do think nearly a bubble around the area that Arusk, the fear is that right engine's incorporeal, there's no magic attacks there.
It just flies over.
He can run 14 inches, so what happens if a right engine runs and engages Arusk? How does Arusk get himself free?
Well, a right engine can't free strike.
No, but again, you don't want the right engine standing behind Arusk.
But I wouldn't worry so much about that because if it can't free strike, you can literally move through it, or you can, again with Tactician, move through your own troops and put yourself in a bubble of them. I still remember playing into a Wraith Engine and being completely flummoxed about how I was going to position around it until you realise, well, actually I can walk directly through it. Just because it's a huge model on the table doesn't mean it's...
The conquest there here now. Mark has already measured there to the middle unit of Banes there. They don't have prowl because they're in the middle of the zone there, and the grant prowl there. So Mark is supposed to be hoping that he gets his crit here.
Crit devastation would be quite nice. I'm assuming Fire for Effect is up on...
Yes, I see the token there. So no crit unfortunately, but he does manage to get 6 models. I can see Anthony now, it's first tough. I can see him on damage now on the Fire for Effect, so he should have 6 tough rolls to make here now. He's made 1 died. It's another tough. Another tough. Might be asking to change dice now at this stage. And then Tartarus then takes a couple of points of damage. But again, it is 5 out of 6 toughs there, and Tartarus took 3 points of damage.
Now, does Mark put down some covering fire here?
He should. There's no value in that.
Here we go now. Okay.
There's no value in not putting them down.
I mean, there's no point trying to take your pop shots here. The distance...
in best case scenario, right? You take your pop shots, you kill a few Banes. It doesn't really matter. So that is a questionable thing. Moving everything back to 6 inches there. is that required? So what happens if you need to get into that far zone the next turn? You're blocked up by a right engine if you come down just below where the conquest is.
Well, potentially you just walk through it, coming through the body of it itself.
It's going to be corporeal because it's going to charge the
of course, yeah. But then Scar 1 feet.
Scar 1 feet.
Yeah, so be incorporeal again, right?
Scar's feet is plus 5 strength.
Oh, okay. So it just doesn't care about.
Yeah, it just doesn't care. So hypothetically, he's going to charge to that area just outside the trench there.
So as you guys at home don't have Jerry's finger on screen here pointing what we're looking at the bottom raid engine moving into the trench in the lower zone to engage the conquest and block the mechanics potentially running into that zone.
And also that 2-inch melee range as well means that the potential if she can test that zone, they may have to run down to where those paper is at the bottom of the Brigand there. I can't remember what we ever named it.
It's also worth noting, I suppose, at this point that these players are super fast. We give them lots of coffee, and that's the main reason you're moving at such high speed during the game.
Exactly, all our games at this speed.
Yeah.
We got the 5 rounds done in an hour and a half.
Yeah, pretty good.
I see Anthony there just weighing up his options there, but it is feed turn. There's no argument here, and it's the point of engagement. You can see there now, Scar has feeded, and
looks like that raid engine is moving in. Yeah,
goes in. Probably would have been slightly more aggressive with it, and again, it could be a distance there. I didn't see the full measurement, but at speed 7, it
looked like it could go a little bit further.
Yeah. Now again, rising the team there as well. All those knockdown Banes will stand up again. You can see I was slagging Anthony as well when he was playing this game, saying that he had to borrow a soul trapper off me. And I was saying the soul trapper was going to win him the game. You can see now shortly he's just going to stand on the flag there.
Well, I mean, these are the most live scenarios that we've seen in a Steamroller packet in quite a while. It's not quite Mirage, but the ability to score defensively is pretty important.
In a couple of places, not just the single place, because you have the flag, you also have the defensive zone, and as well that zone in the centre. Many occasions can be scored.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, you're not always going to have a house, and I think if it's a particular cloud effect, it can be quite easy to get in and clear out one of those zones.
That's one side of the conquest gone, I think.
Well, you're rolling lots of dice, and it's dice +2.
See the stalkers down there now as well, and yeah.
So raid engine and 1 stalker.
Raid engine and 1 stalker, 2 remove a conquest. But again, that's what I'm saying. The raid engine now is 9 killable on the counter. It's around 23 now. Base 18 plus the 5.
Yeah.
So it's 9 killable.
I mean, Battle Lust is what? You can get 3 iron fangs across there.
Can you? Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. And then just have a quick check of our arcs.
Yeah, that looks all fine. Yeah. I'd be more concerned about the distance there. But again, you're looking at
6, 11-inch stress. They're inside in that 12-inch zone.
Yeah, they can make it, but again, they're going up to effective 16s.
Well, I mean, you either do them individually because they're battle lusted, and you get more value out of it that way.
I also mean effectively they go in at 13.
Yeah.
Plus the extra dice.
Yeah. So the raid engine is armor
23.
23.
So dice minus 10.
Yeah.
Plus 4 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose your other option here is you try and contest the bottom zone and you push hard in the top zone and you just try and flank and come around. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think if you do have the option, probably. Well, there you go. That takes the option off the table. You can see a free strike there. Not sure who's taking the free strike there. Oh, it's obviously the iron fang there behind the building there.
Okay. And we got a counter charge
there. It's
very hard to make out actually who Who's counter charging? You know, I can see the Covenant coming in at the back, but who's he attacking?
That's a stalker.
Okay.
So that's the second stalker that wasn't required going into the conquest.
Right. Yeah.
Seems to be rolling another dice there.
Yeah. Well, he has precision strike, so.
He unfortunately did roll an area, but he's picking up. No, he's still alive.
I mean, Legion of Steel is probably my favourite, as in it is the best kit or team, but I really think their Cover 1 runs it better. Just gives you a little bit more protection. Doesn't have that POW fixer Irus does, but getting your stuff there sometimes is a little bit better, especially with the clouds and the -2.
Well, a lot of the time the list doesn't need that power fixer, like a base 13 with the options of combining if you do get 3, 4, 5 guys in together, that kind of pseudo fixes that for you.
Yeah. And it's switched up to the top of our screens now, and looking to get some work done with these pikemen that have been kind of stuck in his face.
So there's one thing to bear in mind now. Anto has effectively scored that bottom zone and that flag now, so he is going to go 2-0 up. Because the great engines in that bottom zone and that flag is scoreable as well.
Yeah.
So he's going to be 2-0 up now.
Well, this is turn 2 and he's player 1.
No, Mark went first.
Mark went first. Okay.
So yeah, both of those again, where just the speed of the pace has already cut us out.
But yeah, so okay, yeah.
A big problem I think Anthony's going to have here is the amount of Iron Fangs that have engaged up there. It's going to limit, because he's one unit up there, it's going to limit the number of attacks he can get in there, because he can't move through the Iron Fang wall. And it's unlikely he's going to be able to line them up model for model.
But do you just run the raid engine out of the way till the other unit come in and do work?
Yeah. But again, that other unit I don't think could get there this turn. The following turn, like, again, Scar is going to be very safe. You see that the center covering for spot there. Scar stands there behind the building.
Yeah.
She's pretty much untouchable because they need to get line of sight. I don't know why Conquest.
They're checking the landing spot. Yeah.
Raid engine landing spot. So, just call the judge over. It's obviously the 14-inch run. As you can see, yeah, there's comfortably loads of space there for the right engine to go in.
Yeah, 14 inches is a long way.
It's a long way, and Irish obviously magical weapon can take a 3 strike. Again, on your feet. Yeah, what's it? Irish Pal 13?
Pal 13, yeah.
So, dice -10, might do punch 2. That could be very important later.
Yeah, I suppose what this does is it frees up that hole for
guys to come in and get some work done. Yeah. But again, it is anyone that Anthony is likely to kill, that second unit is just likely to lift up. So, like, the outside having the rate engine up there, you can't see the Crix player winning that fight at the top.
Yeah.
So, if Mark, is it worth the investment of Irish dropping all his focus in there just to kill that rate engine?
Maybe.
On the free turn, can he?
Put Battle Lust on himself and wail on him. You put Battle Lust on yourself.
Dice -10.
Dice -10, you put 4 dice on you're giving it, well, I suppose you're giving yourself 3 dice.
Don't kill. So, yeah, it is a bite the bullet and run.
Yeah. What would be interesting for me now is Mark going to get off any counter charges with people moving into that top unit up above. It's hard to see where he has his solos, but I'm assuming that Sophia will be up there somewhere, proving to be an absolute unholy nightmare with her inhuman resolve.
Yeah. You see him measuring there now. There might be Sophia there.
Okay.
I think Sophia might be at the back of the Black Dragons there for some reason.
Ideally, you want her in between both units so that she can potentially get as far forward as she needs to.
Yeah. But again, it's a tactic that I've seen. She walks out in front of the army.
Yeah.
You know, if she's the only model that dies in turn, it's not necessarily a bad turn.
Yeah.
If your whole army that 6-9 inches further forward. It's a game with a lot of tough rolls. Mark doesn't seem to be taking any models off there either, as I speak.
What will be interesting to hear as well is when does Irusk poppy suite for the -2 speed?
Yeah. It has to be this turn as well.
I think so.
There's
It's
no
limited.
value.
Yeah, it's limited value anyway. But you're okay outside of the incorporeal rate engines. What else has ghostly, or what else will? Well, I mean, -2 speed is -2 speed at the end of the day.
Yeah, the stalkers again will still have their leap, which kind of mitigates that to a degree. But again, if they have to do that to make range, it's focus, it's cost and focus. Depending on Scar's ritual sacrifice roll last turn, you know, it'll determine. Like Scar will always spend 4 on Dark Guidance.
Yeah.
You know, so you would wonder.
Do you think it's necessary in this matchup?
Feet?
No, the Dark Guidance.
No, but it does guarantee that the Banes do hit. And the fact that they're already in a bad matchup.
Like, well, it's a bad matchup, but I think it's quite advantageous for the Crix player here.
Absolutely.
Is the Crix player better off ensuring victory by holding on to the focus on his caster and not casting Dark Guidance? Is that the safer play? And just, you know.
But if you look at what she does with her focus, she has 6. Scarlock will cast Ritual Sacrifice.
Yeah.
So it's going to get a minimum of 1. So you're going to have 7 focus every turn. You drop 4 in Dark Guidance, you can't trade.
Can't trade, yeah. Realistically, you need to get 4 attacks on her and 4 of them hit before you start worrying about it.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. I mean, it's very unlikely that you do get 4 attacks on Scar. Again, this list, if you can get rid of the right engine, it will crumble, but that's a key to beating the list. It's a very difficult problem to solve.
Yeah.
Interesting to see now what Mark does here with Irusk, because I don't think the right engine is killable at this stage. You know, does he battle lust all the black dragons? Well, actually, that's the incorporeal one as well, so can't actually damage it. So,
well, yeah. I mean, what objective is there? There is no objective.
No, it's objectives. Yeah, flags. Yeah. Yeah, that solo on the bottom flag there is something Mark isn't going to be able to do anything about.
Yeah.
So
I think he's basically just giving up a point minimum every turn.
Yeah. So it's going to be quite important that Mark does start scoring quickly. That rage engine is going to contest his flag also, which is going to be a huge problem for him.
I mean, given that Legion of Steel is probably the premier K-Dor team, its access to magical weapons have been severely limited. I don't even think you can take Iron Hold with them because it's a named unit. Yeah. Here's hoping that this new K-Dor Warcaster attachment comes with some magical weapon goodies.
So you can always play Butcher and Ruin.
It's very true. Well, it's one of my list pairings with their Cobra 1 in Legion of Steel.
I think Butcher and Ruin also fixes the Butcher 1 and Ruin also fixes the potential POW deficit that you may see. But
I still prefer Butcher 3 with Ruin. I think in Jaws solves a lot of the problems you see in a list like this.
Yep.
Especially as you can pull rate engines. So, you know, you position them.
See the slugfest that's going on here now between the Iron Fang and the Banes, and you can see that those tough rolls are going back to probably average, and you can see all the Banes now dropping like flies, and you can see that dead pile increasing at a rapid rate there, as if it was done at twice the speed. You can see him working now. Single box left now on that stalker, unfortunately.
Now, I mean, looking at it now, Anto is quite light in that top area after those units going in.
Yep. But again, he still does have 5 contesting models there.
Yeah.
Which is huge for marking out this stage. You know, if there was one, you know, maybe an artifice to get the point, but again, given the fact he's likely to get charged by right engine now.
Are those mechanics looking? I was thinking they were going to charge something, but
yeah,
they're running in.
You see now, he's contesting that zone anyway, so he's only going to lose a single point here. To the flag there at the bottom, and obviously the right engine, as I said before, is contesting his flag. Possibly the best that he could do.
You still have that problem with the right engine, though.
And he just killed that stalker there.
That was Sophia coming across, isn't it? No.
It was a solo of some sort anyway.
Yeah. I think the list has 2 Ironfang Kovniks and Sophia and the Red Bears.
Sure, you buy myself here. I was wondering there, is the right engine winning 4th contester? Looks like long 4.
That'd be interesting because Iruska's gone over to the flag, I think. No, that's their start, isn't it?
No, that's Iruska's moving there now.
Okay, with the big
flag, yeah.
So then who's on the flag up top?
That's Sophia.
If only we were watching this on a much bigger screen.
So you see charging Kovnik in there now into the right engine. He will do some damage. But again, it's
not enough damage for it.
It's not going to matter. So you see Anto starting his turn there. Goes to 3-1, so yeah, the right engine is out of contesting range there. So
boys mark a little bit more time.
Yeah, but it does mean that the game continues and it gives him another turn to get one of those right engines dead. So if you can get either of those dead, it does put him in a reasonable position.
Yeah.
Again, that bottom zone as it stands, without Anthony sticking the Banes or Scar in to clear it out, the right engine can't kill him.
Yeah. And, I mean, 3 initials will do a little bit, but he needs a little bit more help than that.
Yeah, but that's 3 models. You assume one of those models is going to be the Kovnik. 2 mechanics. It still leaves 4 mechanics.
Yeah. Well, not all the mechanics come into it. You have 1 up here.
So it still leaves 3 mechanics. Interesting to note as well, Anthony hasn't put down any machine rates from killing any models or any models being killed within 2 inches of it. So it's obviously an error here or a lack of models, because I don't
that machine rate could have headed up towards that flag and been a real.
It's the perfect model to sit on the flags as well, and it frees up the soul trapper there at the bottom flag to go and collect some souls.
Yeah.
Do you imagine at some stage that soul trapper will end up in the soul trapper not living, so it won't matter.
I suppose when you get down to this stage of the game now, Anthony is looking at this and saying, I can take this on scenario. how much do I need to do on each of my turns to get those points that I need to score.
2+ a turn now. At this stage, he's in turn 3. It's going to start Mark's 4th turn. There's no reason why Anthony can't start this 5-1 up potentially.
Well, the interesting one is what's left in that middle zone. Is that the one that's actually easier to clear out here and score? Can't see around the back of the house, but I would imagine.
Yeah, you do think that the Great Bears in front of the right engine there, the right engine likelihood just kills both of them.
Well, but that's it. Like, does that top right engine need to stay incorporeal this turn? I don't think those. Like, the Iron Fangs can't turn around to charge, so I think it's fairly safe back there.
Is there a potential where the right engine goes over, contests the flag, and kills both of those Great Bears? It is a 3-different model then too.
Yeah. I think the problem there is you see there's a model just directly below the flag, which probably needs to die if the right engine wants to get over to kill the model that's on the flag.
Just wants to stand within 4 to contest it for now. Yeah, central zone does look like a bit of a concern for Mark as well. And again, you assume in his turn he clears out that top zone. But again, he has to stick a risk in there to score that. There's no jacks.
True.
So,
which, isn't necessarily the worst thing.
No,
he
wants to be
running
walking
away. Yeah,
he wants to be walking behind that wall of pikes.
Yeah.
You can see Anthony now flanking around to the left here. So obviously he wants to protect that bottom flag and zone where he can accept he can score 2 a turn. At this stage, Mark can't score 2 a turn. He has to take a risk in the zone and he uses a solo on the flag. But that's the best he's going to do, and I can't see any reason why Anthony can't contest that flag or zone.
Yeah. Well, Anthony still has someone contesting that top zone as it stands.
Yeah.
Do you think there was a better matchup in this for the Cato player putting down this alternative list?
I haven't seen Old Rich into it, but I think Old Rich might have been a better job. Just because she seems to have more tools herself.
Yeah.
And
do you think it is the proposal of going into 2 rate engines with a jack heavy build?
Should the Old Rich reload just binds both rate engines?
That's very true. Yeah.
So I think Old Rich might have been, but I think this is more of a comfort drop for Mark. Yeah. So again, you can see Anthony here starting to do some more lifting there in the bottom zone. Interestingly, he didn't try to contest the flag.
Move down instead.
Move down instead, so...
No, I would assume then that means he's scoring that central zone.
I assume, yeah, he's probably cleared that out now at this stage. But again, he's giving up 1 to score 2, so it looks like it's going to go to 5-2.
Yeah. But you would imagine that's a long game play to kind of say, well, next turn I'm going to score 3.
Well, again, we know this flag, if we go with the assumption that the flags are just going to score every turn, and if Anthony can keep scoring the zones, I can test Mark's zones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have only 1 contesting model now left in that bottom zone.
But again, there's only 1 contesting model in the top zone as well. So you imagine they probably trade points. But again, we are turning into turn 4. Anthony's likely to pick up an extra point here, so it's going to be 3 points clear with 3 turns left. Turn 7 scenario win is looking very, very likely for Anthony here. If we go that far. So we're into turn 4 there. It's only a single.
So 2-4 now, back to Anthony.
So obviously there's something in that central zone contesting.
Which puts a little bit of a different spin on it.
Yeah, it's Mark gone in 1 point down. Again, the flag he can't contest, but he's going to score his own flag. So if he can kill that single model, he picks up an extra point here.
Yep.
And
so
then
it goes to 4-5.
Yeah, but both Great Engine are corporeal now. So
and the feed is gone.
The feed is gone. So is it a stage now where those Black Dragons get Battlelust and turn around and walk in?
I think that's probably why Anthony moved Great Engine down.
Yeah, it's the value on that CP. I think is questionable, isn't it?
I think it's just outside the threat range now of those Black Dragons.
Essentially, and as well, having the 2 Great Engines alive, it's probably worth more than the extra CP. Anthony does look like a relaxed man there.
Yeah. Well, I think Anthony has often talked about the tempo of the games, and too often we see players losing games by being greedy and going for a CP where, wait a turn and just take it. Looking at this, I think Anthony feels comfortable enough that no one is ever contesting that flag on the bottom, and that bottom zone looks like it's going to be his as well.
Yeah, so he's going to score 2 points every turn.
He's always going to stay ahead.
Even with Mark scoring 1 on the flag, he's only scoring the zone every second turn.
Well, even with Mark scoring potentially 2.
Yeah.
And Anthony scoring 2.
We're
just taking it all the way to turn 7.
As well, that central zone now, you imagine those Iron Fang go in there and do exactly what they did to the other Bane unit and gradually grind through them.
Yep. Again, I suppose the fact that it's a house and people are having to maneuver around that, you're not going to get charges, you're going to be walking in.
And it does favour the Quick Spare again with Incorporeal and Leaping Stalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Stalkers, there's only 1 left.
Finding it very hard to even see. Yeah, you'll be right. And where's Scar in behind? Okay.
Scar in there, just kind of first.
Yeah.
But there are Trusty Scarlock just behind it.
Yeah.
You can't pretend well again. There's no value in the Soul Trapper in this. Scar can't get souls.
Yeah, but it's a free soul.
Yeah. No, all I was saying is you could see potentially Scar going onto the flag at some stage, but there's no value.
No.
It's free of the Soul Trapper. Yeah.
You don't want to be predictable in where you're putting your caster.
As well, it's a nice little cloud from the team as well for both the Soul Trapper and Scar at this stage.
I suppose, like when I see stuff like that, I get a little bit of cater envy with a lack of a 2 or 1 point solo that you can take in teams for exactly stuff like this. What does the Soul Trapper cost you? Single point. And it has picked up how many points here in scenario?
3 now.
3. Seems a pretty good return on investment.
But again, I do think that Kador in this matchup are always going to have problems sniping out that solo. Because there will nearly always be a better target, but you have to kill that solo.
Is that where the conquest should have been? Putting down its fire?
Well, the Soul Trapper was back where that dice is between the dice and the measuring tape there when the conquest is taking shots. So, as well, if you go and do that, all that happens is the Scarlock runs over and you just sacrifice the ritual sacrifice every turn. Again, possibly a better option, but so we're now 5-4 now in Anthony's turn. So again, Anthony only scored a single point. Mark managed to pick up the 2.
Yeah.
So again, it's another very good counter strike back by Mark.
Yeah. It does feel a little bit like Sisyphus pushing a rock up a hill here. That he's making good choices. He's swimming around, but he's always going to be a step behind.
It's that inability to take out that Soul Trapper is going to ultimately cost him. Yeah. You can see Scar going in there. It's going to impound the problem that Mark is going to have here. And
okay, went and took out that solo or the last mechanic.
The last mechanic there now. So that bottom zone now, you assume that Great Engine never leaves.
Yeah.
Or Scar goes in to free up the Great Engine. Next turn.
So Andy's going to score 2. Now, do you
run? Going to get to 1.
Well, I mean, the question here is, does that second Wraith engine, the one in the middle zone, simply go up and try and stick itself into that top zone?
I think the Wraith engine has to get into those Black Dragons and start doing a bit of work, because if those Black Dragons start working out through the units and working through that centre zone, that top zone is nearly going to be cleared. Irusk is going to score that.
So the top zone is cleared because he scored it last turn.
True, yeah. So Irusk is going to score that again.
Yeah.
And they're going to work their way down through that central zone.
But again, if you send the Wraith engine up top to contest the flag and potentially total the zone, and he sends all his Iron Fangs down, then Irusk is standing in that zone naked with a Wraith engine facing him.
Irusk kills the Wraith engine at that stage. Has to.
Yeah.
Is that as little as the amount of times you don't want to roll dice at these situations when you're pressed into it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see it often enough. How many times have you come up to a table at the end of a game and been told, well, I was given no choice, so I had to?
Speak to Byron there about 20 minutes ago, where he was getting tables, and Colgrama decided that he's going to roll 6-6-6-5 on assassination.
Right. If your opponent gives you the opportunity to roll dice, you're going to roll the dice.
Particularly when your back's against the wall.
Yeah.
You can see there Anthony just literally feeding that zone to make sure that it's not scored by the KO player.
What's down around the flag now? I missed that.
Which flag?
The bottom flag for Anthony.
Anthony is Scar and the Soul Trapper.
So it's doubled down to make sure he scores it.
No, I think it's probably just coincidental that the Scar had to go down and take out the last mechanic there. But it frees up the Wraith engine. I believe that you'll probably see Scar next turn.
Here we go now.
Yeah, contest the zone. And contest the flag.
No, even better, yeah.
I don't think he's going to get into the zone, but he's going to contest the flag from there.
Yeah.
And
now, has he charged or has he run?
It looks like a run because he hasn't made an attack.
Yeah. Okay.
And you see the Wraith engine there now going in to contest, to score and contest. And
okay.
Don't know why Soul Trapper is running there, but okay. So we're now on to turn 5, and he's gone to 7-4.
So he scored the bottom zone and the flag again.
Yeah, the Wraith engine scoring the zone and Scar herself scoring that flag.
So there's pretty much no way Mark can contest that flag or that bottom zone. So Anthony is going to score 2 points here.
Yeah. And Anthony Otto wins then on his turn. Because he scores 2 points, minimum 2 points again, so he will potentially get to 11. So Mark needs to do a huge amount of work.
Yeah.
So it's the first thing, the Wraith engine has to die because he has to score that flag again.
Yeah. So the Wraith engine is base armor 18.
18, yes.
Okay. So 5 off. Do you put Battle Lust onto Irusk? Or do you just buy more attacks? Considering it's a 3-cost spell.
I think you have to put 18. No, you probably have to go in for the spike, don't you? Because you need to free up those pikemen to come into that middle zone.
Sure.
Because they have to run. So
yeah,
there's obviously a model in that zone. It's there because you still have to measure from behind that building. Yeah, see there? There's a model behind that building there. He's running in there now.
Okay. What is that? Is that a Kayazi?
Kayazi Assassins?
Eliminators?
Eliminators, sorry, yeah. So Eliminators hiding behind that building. Which might explain why they haven't died.
Yeah. And what's been contesting it.
Mm-hmm. Which is so he's actually contested the flag in the zone now where we didn't think that was possible.
Interesting.
I have to say he keeps surprising us.
Well, I mean, if Mark turns around now and does kill that Wraith engine, contesting both of those, he would then score the top zone and the flag, which would bring us to 6-7.
Bring us to 7-6, yeah. There is a few Banes in that zone now as well, though.
Yeah.
So you wonder, with needing to kill that Wraith engine, does he have enough attacks? to do it all.
You sure there's... of course, there must have been, because he didn't score it last turn. So,
This one, I think Anthony's just playing to model at the top of the zone there.
Yeah. I mean, Mark is certainly making it much more of a contest than it would have seemed on paper.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you're not going to get an eliminator to kill Scar straight out, but
The eliminator's job is to stand there and
the main problem I see with something like this is you ideally want to be 5 inches away from Scar with your eliminator, but that's not going to happen if any contest.
Well, the flag is an inch wide, and Scar's on the side of the flag, so
yeah,
it just means Scar has to move.
Mm.
But again, if you're marking this situation and the models are still in the same place, I suppose you do have to take that chance that you spike on Scar.
Yeah, sure.
I think you're out going to lose again.
Yeah.
So into that, hope you roll the hot dice. He's gone in. Irushka's left his own to kill that right engine.
That's interesting. Well, I suppose he is only a half-inch melee, so he does have Energizer.
You assume he's going to drop his whole stack here, killing this.
Well, is there anything he needs to be worried about?
No, but if he doesn't have the Energizer, that's the right engine.
There you go.
But it means he doesn't score that zone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he had 2 left, now again, I'm assuming he put Battle Lust on himself to get that done. If he'd been able to energize her back those 2 inches, I think that makes it incredibly interesting.
Yeah. So, turn flips over there. Should go to 7-5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
There's Anthony quite simply saying, I need to kill both of those models and that model behind the house. Something along those lines, which gives him the 3 points. He also needs to contest that flag, which... So, yeah. I would say surely that's more than 6 inches away. We have a dark fire from Scarlock coming up now. This.
Well, I mean, you're what, base 15? Round is up to 17 against melee, so.
Yeah. But again, I think Scarlock's 6.
Yeah, it's asking a bit much.
Oh, 12 hurt them.
Yep. Dice plus 1, 6 to kill.
Yeah.
Dice plus 1, a 5. 4. Even.
Dice plus 1, yeah. It's late here. Yeah. This is the one. Now, again, pay attention. You know, still only want 7. That'll kill them.
Yeah, in the back arc.
So dark guidance makes things easier.
Yeah.
They also the zone and the flag are now both scored once again.
Yeah.
So he just needs to clear out that centre zone. And you can see the pains moving in. Well, that's why Anthony didn't score it. He didn't have his full unit in the zone. So the pains move in there now and score 3 points. Flag, central zone, and the bottom zone. So, yeah, that should be it. Yeah, it's just a discussion of the game. It's an interesting matchup. I think Mark played very well. I do think it's the fact that the machine rates here allowed Mark, went popping out and made a huge impact on the game.
I think some of the deployment from Mark threw into a little bit as well, that he went so hell for leather in the top zone.
Yeah.
Traditionally, as a Cater player myself, I would have maybe put the Conquest behind the pikeman on the way in.
Yeah, it's one of those the right engine on the feet, then use the feet for protection.
Yeah.
So can it do enough to kill a Conquest?
Yeah.
Without feet?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Anyway, good game. And,
good game. Well played to both players, and we'll have another video for you shortly.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.